Hello and welcome to the second section of the Learn PHP the Right Way course. In the first section of the course, we covered the core concepts of PHP like data types, casting, control structures, functions, and so on. Though most of the things that we did in the first section of the course, we did it using the procedural PHP. It is time to move on to object-oriented PHP. In procedural programming, an application or a program is divided into a set of functions that operate on some sort of data that are stored in variables. So you basically have some sort of global state or variables and then bunch of functions that work with those variables. You could also have functions call other functions and so on. In object-oriented programming, however, you're basically combining or bundling related functions and variables into something called a class, from which you create objects. You could access variables and call functions of the object if they're publicly available. We refer to the variables of the object or the class as properties and the functions as methods. I mentioned a class, so what exactly is a class and what's the difference between a class and an object? In simple terms, basically a class is a blueprint and an object is something that you create or build from that blueprint. You could have many objects of the same class, but each of those objects can be different. Let's take a house as an example. The blueprint of the house would be your class and the house itself would be the object. You could have multiple houses based on the same blueprint with slight differences. They can have different paint colors, they can have different layouts, and so on. In other words, objects are simply instances of the classes. The main advantage of object-oriented programming is the ability to structure your code in a better way that is easier to maintain, test, extend, debug, and so on. Though this does not mean that procedural programming is useless. There are some use cases for procedural programming. It might be a good pick for a small project that does not require many features or much maintenance and you're the only one working on it. Or maybe it's a simple cron script. Basically, not everything has to be object-oriented. But as your code grows and your project requirements increase, you will find yourself in a trap where modifying, extending, and maintaining that code becomes difficult, especially when you're working in teams. This is where object-oriented programming can help you. But do note that object-oriented programming does not mean your code will automatically be easier to maintain. Essentially, it is up to you as a developer to ensure that you write your code in a way that is maintainable, extendable, readable, and reusable. Object-oriented programming just makes it easier for you to write such code. Also, object-oriented programming is on demand, meaning that you won't find many companies looking for programmers with experience in just procedural programming. Most of them require object-oriented programming skills. Does object-oriented programming mean MVC? No, and this is the misconception that I see a lot. And object-oriented PHP does not automatically imply MVC. Object-oriented programming is a programming paradigm, while MVC is an architectural pattern of model view controller, which uses the object-oriented programming principles. And we'll talk about this more later in the course, but basically, object-oriented programming does not imply MVC. Object-oriented programming has four main principles, and these are encapsulation, abstraction, inheritance, and polymorphism. And we'll cover these principles in detail in separate videos, so don't worry about them right now. Let's talk a little bit about what you can expect and learn from this section of the course. In this section of the course, we'll cover how to create classes and objects, what are magic methods, and go over the use cases and examples. We'll cover code style and PSR standards, namespaces, autoloading, and dependency management. We'll cover all four principles of object-oriented programming in more detail with actual examples, and of course we'll cover things like traits, statics, superglobals, sessions, cookies, connecting to databases, and much more. And don't forget there is also a third section of the course which will cover much more advanced topics. So this is it for this video. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions or feedback. If you're looking forward to learning more about PHP, please give this video a thumbs up, which by the way helps a lot with YouTube's algorithm. Share and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video where we'll get PHP installed using Docker and start exploring object-oriented PHP more.